Hi, I'm back. Have you missed me? It's been a while since the last episode, but finally welcome to episode 7 of Breath Hold Diving for the Masses. Since the last episode, I've had an epiphany. I've wanted to become the best freediver in the world. I had to embrace this movement towards spirituality and oneness with the ocean. Total relaxation, total commitment to a cause, and the cause was to be the greatest diver in the planet, even greater than I am now. Embraced Tai Chi for 4 or 5 minutes. That was no fun. Thought I'd have a crack at yoga. I think that I'm more suited to yogurt more than yoga. Also had a crack at piranha breathing, whatever that was, but I'm still a massive fan of breathe in, breathe out by natural causes. Pirated the entire series of the old Kung Fu television show for a bit of Eastern mysticism, a bit of Eastern philosophy, and a bit of Eastern weird shit. That didn't get to me much either. I couldn't turn my brain off. I couldn't relax. I finally ended up trying to have a crack with an isolation tank. No noise, no sight, no feeling in general, supposed to make you lull yourself into nothingness. It works out that my brain has a mind of all of its own, and the less stimulation it gets, the more stimulated it becomes. And all I could think about in my isolation tank was boobies. And I don't know, boys, if you think about boobs, you just aren't relaxed at all. While thinking about boobies, it suddenly hit me. Enhancements. I would utilise the technology of the 21st century to enhance my body artificially to make me a better diver. It wasn't working down the relaxation track and the mind over matter track. I had to do something else. I broke down freediving into a couple of things. Probably the most difficult part of a deep freedive is equalisation. So I'll remove the problem with equalisation. I've had some holes drilled into all of my sinuses and into my ear cavities. They are all connected by tunnels now. I have removable tympanic membranes, not really good for the hearing, but before I enter a dive, I can pull out my new eardrums. I can remove these carefully camouflaged tags over my sinuses and completely flood my head, meaning I will have no difficulty in equalising. Tick that off the box. Air supply is another thing. Well, in order to maximise the amount of my lung capacity through stretching and whatnot, it can only stretch a certain distance before it's interrupted by other things like other organs and the rib cage. So what I had done is I've had 3 ribs removed. I've had a couple of organs that don't do much removed. I think your appendix is useless, your pancreas is useless, the spleen is useless, and seriously, half my liver is totally rooted anyway, so half of that went. Introducing a bit more space for my lungs to expand that little bit further to get that greater amount of air and therefore that greater amount of oxygen component in there to make it easier for the blood to be oxygenated and blah, blah, blah. Now, other problems I found in deep freediving is the need to equalise the mask. And I really want to see when I go down super deep. So I've introduced a third lung, a small lung from a baby pig. I did want to get one from a small child, but apparently there were legal complications with trying to secure one. I've got a third lung chucked in there now, piped up so that it has non-return valves, so when the air gets into it, it can only come out of it by going out through my nose in a separate fashion to everything else. This means that as I descend, I have a small air supply in my body that's totally dedicated to equalising the airspace in front of my eyes so that I can see what I'm doing rather than crashing blindly into the depths. Blindly and deafly, because once I take these removable tympanic membranes out, I'm deaf as a post anyway. But I'm old, so I'm deaf anyway. So there's a couple of problems solved. I'm now about to become the greatest freediver that man has ever seen. And Ray Powell from Dive R is currently manufacturing me a pair of fins called the Marianas, named after the deepest trench in the Pacific Ocean and on Earth. Now, they need to be called Marianas because you need just about the Marianas Trench to get the things underwater. They're about 3.5 metres long, but I expect that I'll be able to effortlessly fight the water, fight the pressure and get down. So the equalising factor's been removed from the system. I've got a little bit more air supply. It's just now becomes a matter of pure breath hold ability. A further enhancement I have is because I intend to go to such excessive depths. I toyed with the idea, and the freediving bodies have allowed me dispensation to carry a small reserve air system. Now, for these massive depths, I need to be as streamlined as possible. I therefore intend to carry my spare air, wholly and solely for emergency purpose, but I am carrying it internally. I'll let you work out on how and where that will happen. But trust me, a little bit of lube will go a long way. In future episodes, we'll see me in training with my giant fins in preparation for my crack, my one and only crack at smashing 1,000 feet, and thus proving once and for all that my way's the best way. Remember though, if I'm not having fun, then I'm doing it wrong. So if you're not having fun freediving, you're doing something wrong. Thanks for listening. Hopefully I'll be around for number 8.